So we do section shifts 3 times a day, and I've seen on the rota. Every day is slightly different. Not every day, sorry. Every shift is slightly different. But the main purpose is we're going around making sure all the monkeys have access to water, that they have enough food, that there's no new injuries, and just generally checking up on the troops. So everything we need is in this shed here. If you start a shift and you can't remember what it is you're meant to be doing, then it gives you a list of everything. So the 7 till 10 shift, 10:30 till 12. And it also gives you any notes that you need. So for example, in top section, it's where all the bandits tend to live. So you just always have to be aware. You take a stick with you, make sure you know it's their territory. Yeah, that's good. Then it tells you which troops are there. And a disinfecting schedule, which we will do in 3rd shift. We don't need to worry about that for now. The first thing that we do for this shift is we're getting forage. So we use these bags.
Okay.
The monkeys that are in intro cages don't have access to forage on the trees because obviously nothing really naturally grows in the intro cages. So we're just going to go and collect some seed pods so that when we go do section, we can give them out to each of the intro cage monkeys.
It's only seed pods. It's not seeds per se. Okay.
There's seeds, yeah, there's seeds in the seed pods.
Yeah,
so
sure.
yeah, they like rattle around and then they tear them open and.
Okay, so seed pods is enough.
Yeah. So they've got.
Small, but it's that type.
Yeah, so if they're small like this, we'll give them a few. Sometimes you find really big ones, but you can sort of see they've got the bulging seeds, and then the monkeys can just break them open. And they like to either play with them or eat them. The younger ones kind of like the noises that they make, so they enjoy them. And we've got quite a lot of intro cages to give to, so any that we find we'll collect. On the end, we use these for tipping over the water bowls if we need to change them. For top section, it's good to take a really long one because there are some more aggressive monkeys, so you want to make sure you can stand back and still be able to reach it. Whereas when you have something like this, you know, you're too close to the monkey. And watering can. So we can fill the watering can up at this tap here. It's a very slow tap, but yeah, we'll go with it.
Just one?
Just one, yeah,
okay.
It should be fine. And there are water taps all throughout the sections, so we only need enough water to get us started, and then we'll top up as we go. And basically given free reign over the house and the family, though he was spoiled rotten. He was also castrated, so you can imagine he has a lot of behavioural problems now. It's the problem when you keep the monkeys as a pet, they get to an age where they're dangerous, you can't control them, their instincts kick in, but they're also then so humanized that they can't get on with other monkeys. So Keezy, he still really likes humans. He will try and grab at you if you go to the fence. He wants a groom. He gets groomed once a day because if you see him up close, you'll notice he has a blocked tear duct as well. So he sometimes weeps from his eye. You can sort of see it shining in the light. So whoever is on meds will come during second shift. They'll clean his eye and they'll give him a bit of a groom.
Ah, yes, I see, yes.
I'm not sure I understood properly. Who grooms this monkey?
It's whoever is on our med shift that day. So we have someone who deals with all of the medications for the monkeys throughout the day, and whoever's in charge of that for the second shift, they come, they drain his eye and give him a groom. So that's usually Noam, Laura, myself, or Isa. We tend to do that.
Okay, so what does the groom look like? Like grooming for monkey?
Yeah. So we bring him, once you approach, he will come to the fence to you. We then sit...
it's through the fence?
Yeah, we do it through the fence. You can see this hole here, we've made wide, so that we can fit our hand through to groom a little bit easier. But even though he's really humanized, he's really lovely, I've never seen him be aggressive, we don't risk going in there because ex-pets can just flip and anything can set them off. So we sit at the fence with him, he comes, he presents, so that's when he does this.
Okay, so backwards, like he presents his back.
Sometimes, but he really likes being groomed on his chest, so he does it like this and pushes his chest against the fence. And yeah, we give him a little bit of grooming, just as the monkeys do, you know, pulling the hair apart, picking out any bits of dirt. We'll lip smack to him as well. And then once he's a bit more comfortable, you can start moving his head so that you can see his eye. And then we lift up his eyebrow and clean around there. So he's a very special boy. We did try integrate him with some females. Males, because he's castrated, it wasn't going to happen. Females, he just didn't like any of them. They would always fight, they were stressed, it wasn't beneficial to him at all. So he's by himself. But it's just a good example of what can happen. I mean, his owner loved him, but she didn't understand at all what she was doing to him. So I think she has a lot of regret about how he's ended up. She still asks about him very often and we send her updates, but you know, once he's got to that stage, there's not much more we can do other than make sure he's as happy as possible.
But his future, he's probably inside this cage.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Able to go in the way.
Yeah, that's why we tried to make it a bit bigger than the other intro cages and try and give him that bit of attention every day, because it's also unfair for it to all suddenly be taken away because he doesn't understand why. So he can't have nothing. But we try and make sure that he's not being groomed every time someone comes by, because then he grows to expect it and he gets angry if it doesn't happen. We have all the water bowls. We'll check to see if they're dirty, then we'll empty and refill them.
Is that okay?
That's okay. It's just a little bit of food. So if it was much dirtier, then I would change it. And also sometimes they poo in their water bowls, in which case we always change it. But Keezy's quite clean. And then we'll give some forage. Like I said, he can be grabby, so we have to be careful in giving the forage. We always try and give it, so I, for example, wouldn't bend down and give it here. I give it away from him. If you can't get the forage through, you can just leave it like that.
Okay.
They'll climb up and take it.
Okay.
This is
Nicolas.
got injured and bitten while
Yes.
doing that, right?
Yeah.
Correct, because he was trying to push hard
Yeah.
and stay for a while, and then the monkey was able to grab the
Exactly.
finger.
And then, of course, it's instinct when you get grabbed, you want to pull back.
Exactly.
And it's very hard
Pull
to
it away.
keep still. Yeah. So if you do see it's through and you want to push it through, just use the stick
Yes,
and
of
give it a
course,
nudge.
yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's different with different monkeys as well. So Keezy, he's not scared of us. He's not pretty, like, he grabs, but he doesn't grab aggressively. He grabs because he wants to groom. So it's not as high risk situation. But some of the other monkeys in top section that I'll show you, they can be very aggressive, and that's one of the ones that Nicolas got caught by. It's the only time it's happened in the whole time I've been here, so it's not common at all.
No, but
But
it happened. So
Exactly, yeah. And it's good to remember
Yeah.
that it can happen, because it's very easy to forget when you're here and you're with all the beautiful monkeys and they're being friendly and you kind of get secure, and you forget that if they want to, they can hurt you.
Yeah.
And also how easy it is for us to stress them and scare them. So it's good to just keep in mind.
Those seeds aren't good because he could.
He can get them,
can
yeah.
get them.
I don't see him up there very often. To be honest, Keezy isn't as interested in the seeds as some of the other monkeys, but I give them anyway just so he has the option. On his face, he's quite old. You know, it's sort of, his nose is greying, he's quite slow, he's got some bald patches.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I don't know how old he is exactly. I think he's definitely over 15,
Ah.
but I'm not sure his exact age. But he did used
Hi,
to live
buddy.
here with some other males. The males he lived with passed on, and we tried to integrate him with some females. Had none of it. He just didn't want it at all. He's not shown any promise of being integrated into troops, and with his age now, he's sort of happy enough living here. He does get interaction from the bandits. So you'll see him at the fence grooming the bandits and being groomed. Sometimes he'll sit with Keezy as well and they'll groom each other. But otherwise, he just sort of gets on with his life. The bow patches he has now are actually from being groomed from the bandits. I think when you get older and your skin isn't as good, the hair comes out easier, and he's been groomed quite a bit recently, so that's why he looks a little bit scruffy.
But I don't exactly understand why he came here in the first place. It was because like a retirement, he was too old to be...
No, he came here, I think he was quite young when he came here. It was well before my time, so I don't know the exact story, but I think he might have been an expat or a rescue.
Okay, but he was in a troop, right?
He's never been in a troop,
Oh,
no.
never.
No,
Okay,
so
sorry.
he was, I think, either sub-adult or adult by the time he got here. And I'm pretty sure he arrived with the 2 males he was living with, and it was just them for a while.
Okay.
But they passed away obviously before him.
Mm.
Yeah. That's him. He's also not too interested in the sea pods, but
Yes,
go
yes.
for them.
No tailors.
And again, he's not one who's likely to bite or come near you, but good to keep in mind.